Hey there, welcome to LSEA Yoga. This one's called Swimming in the Stream. It's a fluid practice meant to open the hips and the side waist. So if you're ready, get on your mat and I'll meet you there. We'll begin today in child's pose. So come onto your knees, sit back on the heels, and feel free. We're going to be here for about a minute. We're going to start practice this way. So feel free to let the knees go wide, maybe put something between the hips and the heels if that feels better on the knees, and start to drape the torso over the legs. And you can stack the fists and rest the forehead or maybe the palms or come all the way to the floor. Make it your own child's pose and just start to sink in. And let the breath start to deepen. And just listen to it echoing back at you from the mat. Let the breath fill the back. And then release into the hips as you exhale. And we're not just getting ready for the physical practice. We're also starting to cool the nervous system. So breathe into the adrenal glands, which are two little eraser-sized glands on top of your kidneys, right around the bottom of your rib cage in the back. Breathe into that. Deep, full breaths. And on your next inhale, start to lift the forehead and come on forward to hands and knees. And then we're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. So use your right hand to get it up there if needed. Bring the palms down to the ground, and the arms can be long, and start to drop the hips. Just let them get heavy with gravity. And we're just getting started with practice, and we're going to be here for just a minute. So you can rock back and forth. We're not going to be super open yet. If this isn't working for you, you may want to put a block or a bolster underneath your hand so you're up higher like this. This can be an intense hip stretch. So rock it back and forth. You can flex the foot and come to the outer edge. Wing that knee out toward the right if that feels better. Maybe coming down onto your elbows. If you do have a block or a bolster, you can always place your elbows on that. So find your own lizard pose. Now, if you're feeling a bit more open, which at this point in practice most of us are not, but if you are, you can also snuggle your shoulder underneath your knee and then tent the fingertips to the left and to the right, and that'll intensify things. Your choice. A few more breaths here. And then start to walk the hands up, and we're just going to step that knee back to where it was, back into child's pose. Hips to heels, come on down, just for a breath. And then come forward again, and this time step the left foot forward. Same this side. Start to drop the hips. Move around. Use props if you need them, just like we did on the other side. And if you lost that deep, full breath, come on back to that. Each breath opens the hips a little more. Down onto elbows if your body lets you in. If not, no big deal. Just looking for a nice hip stretch, so wherever that is for you today. Changes from day to day. Begin to walk those hands back up, step the knee back to where it was, come back to child's pose, just for breath, and then sit up on the heels. Place the fingertips down by the knees, curl the toes under, and lift the knees off the ground. And then we're going to move our feet about the width of the mat, turn the toes out, and come into a squat. Hands in prayer or floating out in space, press the knees away. Get long from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and let those hips open a little more. Now you can stay right there or let the left fingertips go out toward the left and reach the right arm up to the sky. Twisting from the belly button, no tweaks in the shoulders. And then come on back to center and take that over to the other side. Right fingertips down, left hand up. And then back to center. This time bring the fingertips down to the ground. We're going to lift the hips up, head down, heel toe the feet wherever you want them to be, but about hip width apart. Bend into the knees and forward fold at the back of the mat. Let the top of the head work its way toward the toes. So let the torso get heavy. And then only begin to straighten the legs if you need more stretch. Now you can hang out here, fingertips on the ground, on the shins, or even grab elbows and just dangle. And wherever you are, bend deeply into the knees, place the hands on the hips, and come on up to stand. Now you can stay where you are, but I'm going to step out so you can see me. We're going to step behind the left leg with the right. Come onto the outer edge of the right foot. Flex the foot. Then reach the arms up toward the sky. Grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and start to side bend toward the left. Turning the torso up toward the sky. Stretch the hip and the side waist. Deep breaths. foot long from your wrist all the way to the heel of your right foot. Leaning right, bending left. One more breath here. And then come on back to center and we'll just take that to the other side. So left foot behind, flexing that foot. Grab a hold of the left wrist and side bend toward the right. Let your left armpit work away from the left foot. Long line of energy, pulling away from each other. Couple more breaths here. Get long in the side waist. Now release that. You're at the back of the mat. Sweep the arms up overhead. Bend the knees and fold forward. Deep breath out. Now kind of bear walk your hands out in front of you and you're in a downward dog, upside down V shape. Legs can be bent. Heels do not have to touch the ground. Press the fingertips into the ground and let your hips move up and away from that. Now on your next inhale, let your right leg float up to the sky. Exhaling, step it forward into a lunge and lower the back knee down. Come on up, placing the hands on the front thigh and sink into the hips, pressing the left hip forward. If you want, you can sweep the arms overhead. Start to press the chest up and away from the back foot as your toes are working into the ground to help that happen. Anjaneyasana is an ecstatic pose. Deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, start to come forward. Let the left hand go down to the ground, plant the palm. Right fingertips float up to the sky. Let the hips drop. And you're in an open twist. A few deep breaths here. And on your next exhale, swim that hand forward. Pull the hips back. Right toes come up. And you're in a half split. Knee can be bent. Inhale, get a long spine. Reach the crown forward. Then exhaling, start to bow, but pull your right hip back. And breathe into the underside of the right leg. On your next inhale, come forward, bend into the right knee, drop the hips, let the chest go up and forward. You're in a low lunge. Plant the hands, step back into a downward dog. Inhaling, ripple the spine forward, chin to chest, drop the hips, keep the legs off the ground and you're in an upward dog. Stay on the toe mounts. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lift the hips up, back into downward dog. Inhaling, ripple the spine forward, drop the hips. Light up your chest toward the sky. Exhaling, pull the hips back and away. One more time like that, ripple it forward. And exhale, pull back. Lift your left leg up toward the sky. As you exhale, step it forward into a lunge, lower the back knee down and come on up. Hands to the front thigh. Press the right hip forward, or you can lift the arms up overhead. Chest away from back foot. Only arching back if it feels good in the spine. Drawing the abs in to protect the low back. One more breath here. And as you exhale, come on forward, right hand down, left hand up. Drop the hips and open up. Don't sink into the right shoulder, lift up and out of that shoulder. Deep breath in. Exhaling, swim that hand forward, pull the hips back, left toes lift, get long as you breathe in. And exhaling, start to bow, pulling left hip back. Left foot is planted into the ground, knee can be bent. And the top of the head is working toward the toes. Your next inhale, bend into the front knees, shift the hips forward and come into a low lunge. Chest reaches up and away. Plant the hands, exhaling, step back, down dog. And we're going to do that same flow again on each side, one breath per movement. So inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward into a lunge and lower the back knee down. Inhale, come on up, reach up. Exhale, come forward, left hand down, right arm up. Inhale here. Exhale, swim it forward, shift back, half split. Inhale, shift forward, bending into the right knee, look up. And exhale, plant the hands, step back, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it, lower the back knee. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, right hand down, left hand up. Inhale here. Exhale, pull the hips back, half split. Inhale, come on forward. Exhale, step it back, down dog. One more time each side. Inhaling, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it. Lower the back knee, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale as you reach those right fingertips. Exhale, swim it forward, shift back, half split. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Lower it down. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, right hand down, left hand up. Inhale here. Exhale, swim it and shift the hips back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, down dog. And breathe here in down dog. And on your next inhale, come onto your tippy toes. And exhale, press the heels down. On your next inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhaling, step it to the outside of your right fingertips, and we'll come back into lizard. Drop the hips, and we should be feeling a little more open this time. Feel free to move around. Maybe coming down onto elbows, maybe grabbing a prop. Breathing deep into that right hip. Plant the hands, step it back to a down dog. Inhaling, ripple the spine forward, come all the way into upward dog, staying on the toe mounts. Exhaling, pull it back. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhaling, step it to the outside of the left fingertips. Lower the back knee, drop the hips. Lizard pose on the left side. Find what works for you, staying up with the arms straight or maybe lowering down onto elbows. Open left hip. Couple more breaths here. Deep breath in, and on your next exhale, step back, down dog. Inhaling, ripple it forward, drop the hips. Exhaling, pull it back. One more time each side. Inhale, right leg up. Exhaling, step, drop the hips. We won't stay here as long this time. Rock back and forth a couple of times. And then plant the hands, step back, down dog. Lift the left leg. Step it to the outside of the left hand, drop the hips. 2 breaths here. And on your next exhale, step it back. Inhale, swim it forward, dropping the hips, stay on the toe mounds, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Inhale, lift the left or the right foot up. Exhale, step it forward into a lunge in between the hands, lower the back knee down, and then heel toe your foot over to the left, and we'll come into pigeon. So flex the foot and start to lower that knee only if it feels good. Place something underneath if you need to. Bring the heel closer to the hip if you're not feeling as open. Okay? Protect that knee, flex the foot. Now lift the back knee up, pull the hips back, and then lower down. Pigeon pose. Feel free to stay upright. Compress into the foot and the knee. Adds a little bit of a back bend. Or you can start to come forward, but if you do, I encourage you to use the hands to press the hips back. A nice quality stretch in the outer hip. Deep breaths. You can lower down onto elbows if you like, but keep pushing into the ground with those elbows to push the hips back. Couple more breaths here. Now walk the hands up if you came down. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then step back all the way into down dog. With that open right hip. Then lift the left leg up as you inhale. Exhaling, step it forward in between the hands, lower the back knee. And then heel toe the foot over toward the right. Same thing this side. Again, protect that knee, put something underneath if you need to. Maybe moving the heel closer to the hip. Lift the back knee, slide the hips back, and then lower down. If you're feeling more open, heel goes a little bit further away from the hip. Find your pigeon pose. And you can stay up high, maybe rocking back and forth a little, side to side. Maybe add that back bend. Maybe coming forward. But pay attention to how each hip feels. My left hip's always tighter than my right, so I have to give it a little more time. Breathe deep. Now your glute muscle wants to pull you over toward the left, so press your right hip down. Few more breaths here. Pressing the hips back. Every inhale inflates that left hip. And every exhale deflates it. On your next inhale, start to walk the hands back up if you came down. Shift all the weight over to the left and swing your right leg around to meet your left. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees out to the side, and we'll take Baddha Konasana. Start to shift the hips back so you can tilt the pelvis forward, sit up on something if that helps you with that tilt. But what you want is a nice long spine and start to lean forward. Heels can be close to your hips or further away, your choice. Close the eyes, breathe deep, and let gravity do its job. Just keep the crown of the head reaching away from the tailbone. Long, straight spine, straight-ish. And then walk the hands back up. Now here you've got a couple of choices. You can keep doing Baddha Konasana if you don't want to come with me into compass pose. Bring the left foot, tuck it kind of underneath your right hip. And we're going to lift the left or the right foot up, snuggle or shoulder under the right knee. Now this is stage one, you can stay right there. If you want to go a little further, maybe bring your hand to the outside of the right foot and start to straighten the leg as you bring your right hand down. And use that as a post to turn the torso toward the left as the leg starts to work towards straightening. Doesn't have to straighten. And look underneath your left armpit. Compass pose. Now, if this isn't working, modify for you. Deep breaths into the side waist. Each breath turn a little more toward the left. And then release. Come on back to center. Leave that left foot where it is. Bring the right foot over to the other side of the left knee. And we'll take Ardha Machendrasana. So bring your right hand behind you like a post. Snuggle that right knee in so it's going up and over toward the left. Inhale and get tall. And then as you exhale, start to twist toward the right, twisting from the belly button, not the shoulders. With each breath, you get tall. With each exhaling, twist a little deeper. Bring it on back to center, and we'll take the other side. So again, you can be in Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side, and work into that. You can come here to the beginnings of compass pose, maybe grabbing a hold of that foot and sort of working that up, maybe snuggling the shoulder underneath that knee. And that's sort of stage one, but any of the others work along the way as well. You can grab the outside of that foot, bring your left hand down as you start to twist toward the right and straighten that leg. Or work towards straightening. This is a deep, deep stretch on the side. So again, if it's not working, modify. You can be more open on one side than the other, and that's okay. Give yourself grace. Breathe deep. Release release that. We'll take our mat on this side. So place the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Place the left hand behind you like a post. Wrap the arm around. Inhaling, get tall. Exhaling, twist from the belly button. Maybe a different hand position. You can bring your elbow to the outside of the knee. Hand up or down. Shoulders reaching away from each other. Deep breaths. Now release that and we'll take Paschimottanasana. So bring the feet in front of you, plant the heels, bend the knees, and then scoot the hips back, again tilting the pelvis forward. Knees can stay bent, get tall and long. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to come forward. Top of the head working toward the toes, scooting the hips back so that tilt keeps happening. Hands can be on the floor, the shins or the feet. On your next inhale, come on back up to sit and roll down onto your back. Maybe draw the knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze. And then let the legs stretch out long out in front of you, about the width of the mat. Feet flop open, hands flop open, close the eyes for Shavasana. You're in Shavasana, you've got nowhere to go, nothing to do, except let everything sink into the floor. This is where the body integrates what it's learned. You can stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, start to walk the feet back up. Place the hands on the upper thighs, knees up toward the sky. Draw the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. Maybe roll around a little. And grab the backs of the knees and roll on up to sit. Find a comfortable position, simple cross-legged, half lotus. The backs of the hands come to the knees, thumb and forefinger touch. Close the eyes. Sit tall. And just notice how different you feel after the practice. I always do this practice when I haven't done yoga for a few days. Seems to open everything back up, sort of realign everything. Breathe deep and take this energy you've created out into your day or your evening. Namaste and aloha.